Are you looking for simplified ways to grow your business? Do you struggle with knowing where to focus your energy for the best return? Or are you loving your business success and looking for ways to stay ahead of the pack through innovation and inspiration? If you've answered yes, keep listening. Hi, I'm Amita from Holistic Vision and the podcast host of Simple Marketing Solutions. As a business owner for the past 15 years, I understand that we wear multiple hats. Often it can feel like they're all at the same time. Occasionally this can lead to feelings of overwhelm and stress, of being reactive instead of proactive. However, when you're equipped with the right business strategies, marketing insights, and mindset tips, it can lead to a sense of true accomplishment, giving you the confidence to continue to grow your skills. Plus, there's real power in the fact that you're creating a lifestyle that you love whilst going out there and helping others. If you're ready for a successful 2023, it starts now. Take action, my friend, and download the free annual planning template for business success today at holisticvision.com.au/annual plan. Hello, and welcome to today's episode where I interview Megan Kachigan, who is an intentional copywriter and sales funnel strategist who gets more clicks and conversions for values-based coaches and course creators. As a Stanford University Teaching Award winner with a master's in education, Megan understands how to capture attention and turn it into sales. Powerful results include writing the ads for a $250,000 launch, crushing industry standards with a 56% open rate and 9% CTR on an email sequence, helping to drive over $1 million for clients with copywriting and strategy. Megan has gotten results for 2 Comma Club award winners and funnel hacking live speakers. She's been featured on the Ambitious Mom podcast, the Star Coach Show, and she's building a dream. Megan speaks about copy strategies that 7-figure earners use to make more sales and how to confidently increase your conversion rates quickly. Hello and welcome, Megan, to the Simple Marketing Solutions podcast. I'm really excited to have you on board today, sharing all your strategies around copywriting. I know it's something that all of us as business owners struggle with and are looking for inspiration. So thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely. Pleased to be on here.
Fantastic. So let's dive right in. I know that you've got a wealth of experience over the years and have helped generate hundreds of thousands of dollars for businesses with your copywriting skills. I know also that you have a hack that you've used where it's helped you to write a sales page within 2 hours. I'd love to know more about that creativity hack.
Yes. So as writers, the worst thing you can do is start from a blank page, feeling like you just got the cursor just like blinking at you, and you might have like a million ideas in your head, but it's like hard to get them onto paper, or like the order doesn't feel right, and you just feel like you need to get it perfect the first time. And like, no matter how experienced of a writer you are, like, we never, like, that's why it's a first draft. We never get it perfect the first time. Yet we always feel like we need to, and like we edit ourselves as we go. So in order to kind of get around this, this block is to not start from scratch. So I create my own, like a Kickstarter, kind of like a template, except I hesitate to use that word because so many people feel like, oh, they bought a template, but it didn't work. But at the same time, I talk to copywriters, and I'm like, well, we all start from templates. So it depends. So I guess I want to clarify what I mean by template. So if it's just like plug and play, you're never going to find someone who had like a great launch if it was just a plug and play
Yeah,
template. Those never really worked. It might have worked for like the one person who created it, but it's like specific
exactly.
to like their niche, their audience, their, industry. And it
Yeah.
doesn't always transfer over. So when I say template, that is not what I mean. But it gives me the format, it gives me the structure. It includes like my swipe files for like, if I'm like, okay, I need to write the headline, I have my list of like 200 headlines linked to where it needs to be in the file. So I can just click on that, get some inspiration, and then plug
Mm.
in to the headline that I'm writing. Or if I'm looking for a really compelling like call to action, I have my swipe file of calls to action and like which one fits for this client's personality, voice, offer, where the audience is at in terms of like hot or cold. And so there's so many things that come into play with it. So it gives you this like skeleton to start from, but it's not as rigid as like a plug and play template kind of thing. It gives
Mm.
space for creativity, but it also has the nuts and bolts in place of like, all the essential elements that a sales page needs to be able to convert. But it also leaves room for like your authentic voice to come through, like your offer, in marketed in an authentic and ethical way. So it has the framework, it has the structure, it has the swipe files, it has the examples of like what has converted well in the past. So obviously not copying, but just kind of taking from that inspiration to kind of help you get in the flow a little
Mm.
bit better. And so the combination of all those things together is what I call a Kickstarter template. And that actually works.
And you're so right when you say that those generic plug and play templates that are out there don't work. I know that I've tried it. I know that so many of the people that I've worked with over the years have tried those things. And yes, we all come back and we say, well, that didn't work for us. And it feels, you feel really disappointed because you've either paid for it, you've made the effort, you've tried it, and then it sort of fails. And you
Mhm.
felt you're left feeling like, well, if that's not going to work, how do I get to become better with my copywriting? And the way that you've described having those swipe files as part of your template and having that skeleton there as somewhere to start, it makes sense that that can help to just inspire you and get that creative juices going, because you're not starting with that blank screen or blank page. It is definitely the worst feeling, to stare at a page and just not know where to even start. So that sounds like a fantastic idea. And I can see that, definitely cutting back on the time that we spend with writing
Absolutely.
it
It
as
helps you just
well.
like get into the flow of writing so much
Yeah.
faster because you know exactly what you need, what it can look like, and then just customize it for yourself or the client if you're a copywriter. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is fantastic. So, you know, as part of writing, with business owners, oftentimes we're trying to put out copy on a regular basis in terms of emails for our newsletters and emails to our database and trying to grow that database as well. Emails, I know, are also another area that can be really tricky because it's trying to find content that's relevant, trying to find content that is speaking to your audience and capturing them and getting to open those emails, right? What would you say can help with regards to people and that process of writing emails?
Yeah. So yeah, that is always one of the biggest questions of like, I know I need to email my list. I know how important it is to nurture them, but then you get to that blank page and you're like, what do I
Yeah.
say?
Yeah.
So if you are in that place, the easiest way to do it is simply ask them what questions that they have. That is a great starter email, is to simply say, hey, I'm, open to answer what I like, hit reply and just email me back with what questions you have about it. And then
Nice.
you're going to get a whole bunch of all of their answers. Now you have a whole ton of content that you can create from in the future. And even
Yeah.
just sending out that email, it's like, okay, well, there's one email already written for you. It doesn't have to be
True.
long. It doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes simple, often, most of the time, right? Simple is
Yeah.
the best way to go. Keep it short and sweet, especially these days. Attention span is just getting lower and lower, shorter and shorter. And so keeping it short and sweet is going to save you time, and the reader is probably going to appreciate it as well. So yeah,
Mm.
ask them what questions they have is always a great place to start. Or think about what questions you're always hearing, like in sales calls and conversations, discovery calls, as you're
Mm.
talking to your audience, your potential clients. What are they always saying? What are the objections that they're bringing up? And then you don't have to like specify a certain scenario, but just kind of
Mm.
speak to the general vibe of like, what are people asking? And you can kind of respond to that and use that as a piece of content or an email to your list.
Mm. That's great advice. Asking the question. I think sometimes we feel, we don't think about it, number one. And sometimes I think that we're scared to ask the question because maybe nobody will respond, or we think that nobody's listening or opening our emails. So putting it out there the way that you've said, in a short, sweet email, it's definitely worth a try. And getting those responses means that hopefully we're actually providing content that they want to read and they want answers to. So yeah, that's a great way. Thank you for that tip. With emails, if I can ask another question around that, how and I know that this can change depending on the audience, but do you find that there's a set or more common frequency rate that emails should be sent out to your database?
Good question. So yeah, like you said, it depends. So I would consider start where you are at. So if you're currently not sending emails, then maybe start with once a month or twice a month, once every 2 weeks. Or if you're doing every 2 weeks, then maybe increase to once a week. So just you can incrementally increase it so that like one, you're prepared in terms of time batching and writing to like be able to be consistent with it, right? Because that's the name of the game.
Yes.
If you do it like you write a daily email, but it's only for a month, then like great,
Yeah.
but what is that going to do you for the long run, right? So I would say slowly, incrementally increase the frequency. And then by the time you work your way up to, a daily email or twice a week email, your audience, you're going to know your audience better the more that you write, and they are going to be looking forward to your emails more the more that you write them as well, right? If they're staying on your list, there's a reason for that, right? They like and enjoy opening up your emails. I think people hear like a daily email, like, wouldn't that be annoying? I don't want that many emails in my inbox. But at the same time, I can think of a couple people in my inbox who like, I really enjoy opening up their newsletters every day, whether I skim it, whether I read it in depth. Sometimes I
Yeah.
miss a day, but I enjoy seeing their emails in my inbox, what they have to say, the value that they add to what I'm looking to grow in my life. So if you can truly create that much value, then why would you withhold that from your
Mm.
people?
Mm.
So yeah, so the frequency depends.
Yeah.
I would say start where you're at, be
Mhm.
consistent with that, and then just incrementally do more as you can as you can handle the writing load. And then, yeah, slowly go up from there.
Okay, that makes sense, and I think that, the way that you've said it, that starting from where you're at right now and just doing it in increments, that doesn't feel overwhelming. Because I think that's probably one of the biggest things, is that as a solopreneur or a small business owner, micro business owner, we're wearing so many hats and we feel like we've got so much to do all the time, right? And then when you're now adding an extra workload of writing more emails and more frequently to your database, as much as we know there's value in that, it can just add to the stress and the overwhelm. So if we can come at it from the strategy that you've talked about and just do it slowly, then we can get into the rhythm of it and start building up on content that we can share over the period of time as well. So yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you. And Megan, you are a great writer, a great copywriter. I've seen some of your amazing statistics that you've achieved in your career, which is fantastic. So to, again, just really help other people out there that may not be amazing copywriters, what would be the 3 easy tips for writing an email copy quickly that you would be able to share?
Yeah. So yeah, writing quickly is the name of the game. Like you said, we're wearing all the hats. We have so many things to do. But you know how important copy is it's the lifeline of your business, to be able to convert the leads. So we need to do it quickly, but also we need to also do it well. So one is to start from the skeleton that I talked about, have some sort of framework, a template. Again, I'm nervous using that word, but we talked about it at the beginning, so it's okay.
Yes.
Start from something so that it can go faster and you're not starting from a blank page. So whether you create that yourself or you use someone else's, vet it and make sure it's good first before you buy it.
Exactly.
That would be a great starting point. Another one is keep a bank of ideas, either just like on the notes app of your phone or in your project management system, Asana, ClickUp, Notion, like whatever it is that you use, keep that bank of ideas. So like when you're out and about and you're like, oh, this happened, that's like a really great analogy for my business. I could write an email about that. Just like jot it down real quick so that when you do sit down, like you don't have to write the post or the email right then, but then like, or just write down like a phrase or a sentence about the idea so that when you do like batch your writing or whatever, like whenever you sit down to write, and then again, you're not starting from a blank page, you have ideas, you have a framework to fit them into, and then it feels like more of a seamless process because you have all the puzzle pieces there. Now you're just assembling them and putting them in place. And that's a lot easier than having to create the puzzle pieces, cut the puzzle pieces, color the puzzle pieces, and then put them all together, right? Why would we do that?
Exactly. Exactly. That truly makes sense. So thank you for that. And, I appreciate what you said in terms of having to write emails quickly, but they also need to be good emails because we want people to be able to open them up and get value from that. So just reminding our audience that it's not just about writing a quick email. It is about writing quality emails as well. So thank you for pointing that out and reminding us about that. I also know, Megan, you've got a free resource that you would like to share with our audience. If you wanted to tell us a little bit about that, that'd be great.
Yes, so I have a free Facebook group where you can just continue to get more tips, trainings. I have the template framework skeletons that I talked about earlier in the podcast, and the ones that I actually use. So those
Great.
are available as well. And then even just to be able to like get your copy critiqued, or just say, hey, can you look this over real quick? Or what do you think about this idea? Sometimes it's nice just to like get out of our own heads when we're writing, and run it by someone else real quick, or just have a community of other people who are taking their copywriting seriously, which, as we know, all businesses need to. And there's so much copywriting that needs to be done, from emails to sales pages, blogs, ads, however you're getting your traffic. It just, it feels never ending. So there's so much that needs to be done. So don't do it on your own. Get involved with the community, get the support that you need, whether it's a quick question or something more in depth. We have different levels of support available. It's too important to do it all on your own. So I'm happy to offer that community.
Fantastic. Thank you. And I will put the link for that group in the show notes so everybody can jump on there and access it and join the group and get value from that. And like you said, be able to share what they're writing and just get, some ideas and critique on it, and make sure that they're doing the best that they can, and know that they're not alone. I think that's also another thing that we all find ourselves in the situation where we're in business, and we can feel like we're the only ones going through this, but we're not. There's thousands and thousands of us out there writing every day, trying to write emails, content, etc. So it is good to know that there's support out there. Thank you so much for that.
Absolutely.
Megan, thank you so much for taking the time today to share your great tips and resources with our community. I know that I've gotten a lot of value, and I do know that our audience will as well. And if there was any last pearls of wisdom that you would like to leave us with.
Yeah, I would say get in community. Don't start from that blank page. Use your templates and swipes, or if you don't have any, come get mine. And ask your audience what they need, and really serve them well. Don't stress about writing really good copy. Just let it flow, and that typically is the best copy. So you can do it. It's important. You got this.
I love it. Thank you so much, Megan.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening today. Like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. I hope you find value from today's episode. And remember, if you've got friends and colleagues looking for inspiration as they grow their business, share this podcast with them. Follow me on Instagram at Holistic Vision Consultancy, or check out my website, holisticvision.com.au. Until next week, to your success, my friend.